Welcome back to American Arms Channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Drake. We're out here on a slightly snowed over and very chilly January day in central Nebraska out on the Platte River. Not to hunt, but to discuss a firearms component. Today we're taking a look at the Benelli M1014, but specifically we're taking a look at a 3-position recoil tube or action spring tube option that is available on the market and is American made. We're going to take a look at how it's held up for me over the last couple hundred rounds in the last few months of constant use. We're going to fire some heavy loads through it, take a look at the locking points, and I'm also going to beat it off of a stump or two to see if we get any peening from a little bit of abusive strikes. This is a combat shotgun, however, so some melee work might be required if you ever have to implement it in its supposed role. So we definitely want to make sure that our stock can hold up to that. We'll be firing it in all 3 positions, and we'll be going over some of the specifications here today. But without further ado, let's get into some shooting and some abuse of this stock tube and see how it fares. So let's take a look and see what this stock can put up with as far as direct downward force. We've got 3 positions, fully collapsed, mid position, and all the way out. This tube replicates, of course, the OEM Benelli recoil tube, and we'll get some close-up shots here at some point during the video so you guys can take a look at it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide 3 hard strikes in each position, and then we're going to take a look at the positions and see if there's any additional peening to what currently exists. And while I'm doing this ad lib here, the firearm is unloaded, of course. We're going to take a look there. You can see there is some wear, but there is no significant wear that would inhibit function or allow stock slop to cause a problem. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Okay, so you're going to hear the bolt bouncing back and forth. I'm not going to lock it back for this. We're just going to see what we can do here. The stock does wiggle side to side, but there is no forward back slop in any of the positions. So let's try completely collapsed. All right, let's come out 1 position. Here we go again. And to the final position. And I just pinched the crap out of my pinky finger by letting it slip into the action. We're going to take a look here. I don't see any peening that wasn't present before. It's just shiny spots. Let's check fit here. No forward back movement on position 3. No forward back movement on position 2. No forward back movement on position 1, fully collapsed. Yeah, I definitely gave myself a blood blister on that pinky there, so maybe I should have locked the action back. But I was slamming her at a good rate into the stump there. So she seems to hold up to some basic slamming around. Let's put some rounds through her. All right, to start off, we are going to just run some simple dove and target loads. These are Federal Top Guns. They are 2 3/4 dram equivalent, 1 ounce at 1180. That's not a lot of gas volume, but because this Benelli is broken in, it should cycle them fine. I've got the gun ghost loaded, so we have 9 rounds total in it. We're going to shoot 3 rounds from each position, and then I'm going to show you a quick look at the tube. We're just going to demonstrate here that there's really no serious peening or damage or anything occurring to the tube, as well as function and reliability, which leans towards the quality of the product. So let's take a look. Fully collapsed into the chest here. Just fine. Let's go to position 2, which is a little tricky to find. And position 3. Just let it climb a little bit there. Ooh, warm my hands up a little bit. That's nice. Strong ejection, no problem. Let's take a look at that tube. All right. So there is position 1, there is position 2, and there is position 3. You can see there's a little bit of speckle rust on this coming right off. This is just a blued component. It is not Cerakoted, it is not melanited, it is cold blued. So you will have to put a little bit of oil on her and she will wear in. That's not a huge deal. And again, guys, this isn't the final iteration. This is more of a pre-production sample. This was the first one of 2 on the market from Regal Metal Works. But there's no serious problem there, and there's no forward back slop. Let's step it up to something a little bit more powerful. Next up, same test. We're going to use the Winchester Super X Expert High Velocity Steel Shot. This is just an old box I had around. Specs on this, it is 2 3/4 inches. It's a 1550 velocity, only 1 1/16 ounce of payload, but it's moving down range. So this is 100% a magnum load. It's not a max dram, but it's got plenty of oomph, and you'll probably see that here while I'm firing it. 3 shots from each position. We do have it ghost loaded, so let's just take a look. First 3 in position 1. Ah, malfunction. What in the heck? That is the first time this gun has ever done that, and you saw it on camera. Don't think we can blame that on the tube. Weird. Last round at position 1. There we go. Position 2, again, hard to find. Let's see. It did it again. It does not like these shells. Well, you're seeing it here first. Of course, I haven't shot that many of these shells through it. Apparently she is not happy with them. Maybe I'm holding it too tight. I don't know. Here's position 3. It didn't hate those. I don't know, maybe I was inducing a malfunction by holding it too tight, but that still shouldn't happen. I guess I know to stay away from those. Let's take a look at the stock. All right, removing this from tube here. Yeah, we have no additional peening, no problems. Let's put that stock back on. No forward back, no forward back, no forward back. A little bit of side to side wiggle, that's normal. Looking pretty good. Next up, some sterling polish slugs. These things are crap for accuracy, so we're just gonna try 3 of them out, 1 in each position. I'm gonna throw one on the ground apparently. And I'm back. So we're just got a chunk of wood over here we're gonna use as our backstop. See what happens. No problem. Position 2. No problem. Position 1. No problem. So malfunctions seem to be ammo specific there. There's a bunch of unburnt powder coming out. That stuff's kind of dirty, but I think we've showed you already. No problems, guys. I will say that when I first put this on the firearm, we had some slight deformation, some slight peening. That seems pretty normal. It's pretty par for the course with these tubes, and they're going to pick up some track wear from you moving them around. And I've been fiddling with this thing quite a bit to see how good of a quality it is. I'm very impressed, to be honest. It's no small feat to properly reverse engineer one of these dang things, especially when you can't get one in your own hands. So if you know, you're really looking at, well, why does this thing cost 300 bucks? It's American made, costs more to make stuff here in the States, and it had to be reverse engineered and had to be thoroughly tested before it can be released on the market. This is pretty much a pre-production sample. They'll only get better, is my guess, but I'm very happy with it, and I don't doubt its durability or reliability at all. Those are the first malfunctions I've ever had that weren't an underpowered ammunition related issue with those Winchester shells. So a little odd, but we'll definitely watch out for that. So a little bit quirky there, but I highly doubt it's due to the recoil tube, but I'm honest with you guys, so you'll see it right here. I don't edit any of that out. Pretty happy with the performance thus far. Well guys, my opinion of the Regal Metal Works recoil tube in 3 position is that it is a quality component that will last and stand the test of time and round count. I really can't tell a difference between what I have personally seen with the Benelli OEM extensions, recoil tubes, and what this has to offer in regards to the machining. This seems to be good enough, or even better than good enough, for the purposes it serves. I've not seen any extensive wear. I've been using it quite heavily and fiddling with it all the time. And you know, it is a little bit of a pricey option. Right now, the most recent versions of the 3 position are going for $300 even on Regal Metal Works site. And I say it's a pricey option because I know most of us are going to look at that and say, that is a piece of metal. It's a tube. Why would it cost that much? Well, as I enumerated earlier in the video, you've got a lot of work that goes into this. It's not easy to get these tubes to the right dimensions. It's not easy to find the right stock. They have to be not only machined, but they have to be heat treated, they have to be threaded, they have to be blued. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and when you're not producing thousands upon thousands of them at a time, your cost point increases. So if there is more interest in these tubes, I imagine that the price will come down as production's able to step up. Now, my understanding is that Regal Metal Works is a 2-man band, and they are going to produce a significant number of them for a smaller shop, but you've got to be reasonable about what your expectations are. I think that they're offering a much needed product on the market. Obviously, I thought it was justified to purchase this tube. This video in particular is not sponsored by them. This is my honest opinion, my honest evaluation, just some off-the-cuff thoughts. So take it as you may. I know Cole at Regal Metal Works will probably be taking a look at this video. We have had conversations about this product, and I'm fairly well impressed. I like what they're doing. I like what Cole and his employee Nate are doing with this tube. I see a lot of potential in their company, in their work. This is not an easy feat to pull off. I'm not a machinist and I'm not a metallurgist, but it's a pretty complicated part for something that in function is so simple. But it works. I mean, I installed this with no problem whatsoever onto this gun, and I have not had any issues that I can attribute to it. In fact, the malfunctions you saw today with that Winchester Super X Expert, which by the way, as a duck hunting ammo, I have never been a fan of. I have seen that ammunition cause problems in other guns. I'm not excusing the malfunctions with this gun, but I am leaning towards that is probably an ammunition related issue. But you know, those were the first malfunctions I've ever had with full power ammunition in this particular firearm. And this particular firearm is broken in enough now that it is running some pretty light stuff. As you saw, it ran those 2 3/4 dram 1 ounce loads, not a terribly high amount of gas volume in those loads. So the gun eats them. With the Regal Metal Works tube installed, I'm pretty happy with it. Time will tell, and of course, if anything happens with this tube that's out of the ordinary, or it fails for some unknown reason other than a tank rolling over it or something, which I don't know where I'm going to find one of those out here on the plains of Nebraska, but you know, I don't see a problem with it. So if you're interested in it and you've been watching the channel and you've been wondering the quality of the product, if you're looking to put it on a Benelli M4 M1014 or a Turkish clone, I think it's a good option, especially if you've purchased the 1014 and you do not have the collapsing stock tube and you need that. Regal Metal Works is producing them weekly at this point, and they also now offer a 5 and a 6 position tube, which is a pretty cool thing. Regal Metal Works, as far as I can tell, is also the first on the market with this product. Is that a good or a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. It shows innovation, drive, and a lot of dedication. And I think you should go give them a look if you're looking for this product. And this particular one, as one last note before I sign off, did not come with the flex ring that is required to retain the bolt plunger and spring guide in the tube. So I had to remove that from the factory tube that came on the M1014, the 1 position, and install it on this tube. My understanding is that Regal Metal Works is now installing their own flex ring into their tube, so you don't have to worry about that out of the box. You simply need to strip the guts out of it, pull the old tube, install the new one, torque it down, make sure she's straight, reinstall your internal components, and you are off to the races with 3, 5, or 6 positions. And that's a pretty damn cool thing. So guys, as always, God bless, keep your powder dry. I'll see you in the next video.